Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. So if you've watched my channel for some time, you may know that Mr. Do is my favorite game of all time. I even wrote about it for Game Informer. Remember their greatest game of all time feature they would have? I missed that. That was a cool part of the magazine, but I did write for Game Informer about Mr. Do, but you're probably sick of hearing about that. So I've invited a variety of other YouTubers on my channel to talk about their favorite game of all time. I've got a great lineup this time, but before we get to that, very briefly, if you guys enjoy my books, you like reading my articles, and you enjoy the channel, check out my Patreon page where you can get more content. Did you know at the $3 level, you can get a digital copy of this beauty right here? Plus you get other digital books, digital magazines, exclusive content. Guys, I've got a book in the works that I haven't announced yet. No, I'm not talking about NES Omnibus Volume 2. Obviously, everybody knows it's coming out. I've got the next book after that I'm already working on. My patrons at the $3 level or higher have read 5 chapters from this book that I haven't even announced yet. So you guys want to get on my Patreon page, I'd appreciate it, in the description. But hey, if that's not for you, welcome to the video anyway. You're always welcome to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get to 5 awesome YouTubers who are going to tell you their favorite game of all time. And I will see you guys on the other side.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Jake James Lugo. I'm a content creator, a writer, a podcaster, a host, and I play a whole lot of video games because of that. And even though I have a whole bunch of different favorites for various different reasons, one game I do want to highlight that I'm a huge fan of the series because I've grown up with it is the very first Kingdom Hearts game. For me, this is an awesome, phenomenal action RPG that, to me, is also one of the blueprints for making a good crossover game to really resonate with a lot of people. I mean, look at all the Disney properties and some of the Final Fantasy / Square Enix properties that end up crossing over together throughout this entire franchise. But it really started with the very first Kingdom Hearts game. And it was just something that not only had phenomenal presentation, awesome visuals for the PlayStation 2, great music that really stuck with you. I mean, even to this day, I still remember the first time seeing the commercial with Utada Hikaru's song Simple and Clean, the remix of it, and just resonating in my head looking at that commercial. It was just, that really got me into actually wanting to see what this game was about, because even back then, I wasn't a huge Final Fantasy fan. I was really into Disney, you know, with my family and stuff, but seeing the Disney characters really kind of just caught my eye, and then all of a sudden it's branched off into this like Final Fantasy exploration, and just seeing them come together just looked awesome. It was an awesome and amazing experience. I mean, also, one of the cool things about this series, especially spinning off of this game, was that there was a lot of other, like, you know, elements that they could kind of like bring into the actual series from various Disney properties. You know, certain franchises that you wouldn't think after playing this game will make it into a crossover like this. We eventually ended up getting Pirates of the Caribbean. We saw Tron, even though when we started, we only had like Disney's Aladdin. We had, was it Beauty and the Beast? You know, mixing it up with characters from like Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy VII. And that was really freaking cool. But this was one of those crossovers to me that was so outrageous and so out there and was like completely like just, you know, through the moon with its creativity that it ended up being awesome to see it work together so well. So big thanks to Tetsuya Nomura and some of the execs over at Disney that finally got into an elevator and actually decided to start talking to each other, and they gave us this little gem. So just wanted to highlight this, even though my favorite games are usually something that changes up all the time. It feels like, you know, I have a different favorite game like every single day because I play so many of them. But you got to go with the first Kingdom Hearts because it's an awesome crossover, it's an awesome action RPG, and just an awesome game that more people need to play. Hopefully that helped you out. Definitely check out some of the other favorite games from all these other great people that are going to be alongside me here. So hopefully also share some of your favorite games as well with Brett. So big thank you for him for allowing me to share that, and I will talk to all of you again very soon.
Hey everybody, I'm Kinsey Burke, and you might also know me as Kinzilla online, but my favorite game is no surprise to anyone who has ever heard me talk about anything on the internet. And actually, if you guess it right, take a drink, because it's hilarious, and you probably know it. So my favorite game of all time, and it's been this way since like the year 2000, is, whoop, this is backwards, Final Fantasy IX. And this game just came out at the perfect point in my life. Like, I was just getting into RPGs. I was like, 14, 15 years old, and the story just hit home to me so much. I loved it. Like, I couldn't talk about anything other than this game. Like, I remember when this came out and my grandma wanted, like, a Christmas list, and I just wrote Final Fantasy IX anything. So I got, like, a wall scroll and the strategy guide and the art book and stuff like that. And I have, like, these little figures from Final Fantasy IX. And it also came in a point in my life where I was, like, obsessed with music. And this has great music, so I imported the soundtrack from Japan, and I was so excited. But I also started downloading sheet music off the internet, and which my parents were very upset about because it was slightly early internet. But it was great. I played, like, the Chocobo song and the Melodies of Life and all kinds of stuff. So definitely favorite game of all time. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Is Final Fantasy IX.
The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite video game of all time. And this was a tough one for me. I have a pretty vast collection, and I had to really think about, if I had to pick one game that would be my favorite. And this changes all the time, but if you were to ask me today, I'm going to go with Ghouls and Ghosts for the Sega Genesis. I'm a huge Sega Genesis fan. I cover a lot of that on my channel. And I grew up with the Sega Genesis. I earned it with my own money, and I love this game. I've beat it several times. You actually have to beat it twice to get the good ending. I love this game. I love the graphics, the animation. I love arcade ports to home consoles, and the Sega Genesis port of this game is amazing. I have a lot of nostalgia connected to this particular port of this game, but I think it's fantastic. It really showed the advantages of 16-bit gaming over the NES, and I can still play this game yearly and go through it and beat it. It's still just as fun today as it was back in the day, and so I really think that this game still holds up. It's got great animation and graphics. Those hand-drawn sprites really hold up, and so have to say Ghouls and Ghosts for my pick of favorite game of all time, the Sega Genesis port.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's John, also known as Gamester81 here in the gaming community. If I were to pick my favorite video game of all time, it's a difficult choice, but if I were to narrow it down just to one, I would have to say Super Mario 3 for the NES. It's the game that, from when I first saw and heard about it, from watching The Wizard in theaters with Fred Savage, great movie by the way, it's a game that really holds up even today. It really set the precedent for future Mario games in the franchise. It really set the standard for platformers moving forward. It's a great game, introduced a lot of great Mario characters that we know today, the Koopalings, and how really Mario is set up with the platformers moving forward. Just a great game overall. That's my number one choice.
He's back. All you had to do was ask. Super Mario Bros. 3 from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
Hey guys, it's Brian from Brian's Man Cave. So, Brett Weiss asked me, what is my favorite video game and why? Well, for me, that's pretty easy. It was Donkey Kong. And this is Donkey Kong for the Intellivision. Now, I know you're probably wondering why this particular Donkey Kong, because, a lot of people like to say that this was probably one of the worst ones ever made, or at least it's in the top, 3 of the worst ones ever made. Now, it's not really because of the gameplay itself or the graphics or anything. It's just a little bit of an emotional connection with me. getting it as a kid and remember being so excited, getting it as a gift and just running down and playing it on my television. I just really, it was one of those memories that just stuck with me. And that's probably one of my favorite things about being in retro gaming, is that there's so many memories with so many games that you grew up with, you played when you were a kid. In fact, Donkey Kong, I remember when I had to sell my television, I had to sell all my old stuff because, I was currently into the newer stuff. And out of everything I got rid of, the only thing I kept was my Donkey Kong cartridge. And I don't know, I never thought I'd ever be able to play it again. I thought, this is gone, I'll never play it, but I'm going to keep this as a memento. And I did. But I've also got Donkey Kong on so many other systems, like the ColecoVision, the Atari 2600, even on the Nintendo. I got it on the NES. I have the Donkey Kong, and I have the Donkey Kong Classics, which has, it has this one and it has Donkey Kong Jr. on it. I also have it for the Atari computers, and this cool little thing here, the multi-screen Game & Watch Donkey Kong, which I got, I remember picking this up. I paid, what, $40, and that's Canadian pricing. Quite a long time ago, actually. But I've always kept it in great shape and in the box. As for the Intellivision, I also have the DK Arcade, which is a homebrew for the Intellivision. Real cool box, really nice. Made by a really great guy, Carl Mueller Jr. And he actually contacted me and asked me if I could do a review on, not this one, but the D2K game, which had 4 extra screens on it. Because he saw my video that I did on the Donkey Kong Intellivision, and he asked me, have I ever seen his D2K game? And I said no. And so he sent me the ROM for me to try it out. Anyways, yeah, this is my favorite game, Donkey Kong. I love it on the Atari, I love it on the Intellivision, I love it on the ColecoVision, and of course the arcade. Sadly, there is none around here anymore. But anyways, thanks Brett Weiss for letting me on your show. I really enjoy talking about things like Donkey Kong and video games, so thanks a lot.
Hey, welcome back. Awesome, huh? Let me know in the comments of the 5 games mentioned in this video, the 5 favorites. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite of those 5. Also, let me know what is your favorite video game of all time. I would love to hear about it. And let me know in the comments also, what YouTuber would you like to see on my channel talking about their favorite game? Alright guys, thanks for watching, thank you for liking, and thank you for hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to become a Patreon to my page, thank you for that as well. I will talk to you guys in another video.